Hi there. Good to see you all. It feels like it's been forever. So today we're going to talk about a variety of things. It's kind of best of favorites and stuff that's been happening to me lately. So I thought we'd just discuss it all. But before I start, you know, would you remember to subscribe and to hit the thumbs up button? And well, you guys comment. I love answering your comments. So I love getting to know you. But please subscribe. It would really help me and it would help the algorithm. I wanted to tell you about some things that have been happening and some favorites that I have and stuff like that. So, where do we start? I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm always trying to be organized. I'm always trying to have things where they belong, and I fail miserably at it. And I try and I fail, but something happened this month, and I must have been listening to maybe a podcast. I was listening to something, and the person said, you know, that you should always put things back where you got them, when you put things back where they belong. And okay, that's great. So I was trying to do that. And then I was talking to a friend of mine, Sarah Getkin, and she's an organizer. And she said, yes, there's a 10-second rule that if you can put it back and it takes only 10 seconds, then you do it. If it takes longer, you don't have to. But the 10-second rule, that means if I take clothes off, let's say this sweatshirt off, and I can put it away and it only takes 10 seconds, then I do it. Well, you know what? Somehow that really clicked in my mind because 10 seconds is nothing. It's not like taking, a half hour to put away a top? So it really hit me, and I now put away all of my clothes. I don't drape them over my chair. But I put them away because I think to myself, it's only going to take you 10 seconds, and 10 seconds is nothing. And the other thing is, you know, when I make lunch, I usually leave everything out. So I've got the mayonnaise jar, the mustard jar, the lettuce, the what else, the pickles, whatever. I leave it on the counter. But Sarah said to me, you put it all away before you eat. And I thought, oh my goodness. Okay, so I have the cleanest counters you've ever seen. Between 10-second rule and putting things back in the refrigerator. Well, I was asking her, how do you keep counters clean? And she said, you put it away before you eat it. And that's what I've been doing. So, miracle of miracles, my kitchen counters are clean, and that chair that I put all my clothes on doesn't have one single thing on it. So it's been amazingly easy. See how it works for you. Next, let's see. I've got a whole list. So I was putting makeup on, and I was putting on those caviar sticks, and I was putting this on and that on, and I'd put a lot on, and I'd also put a new eyeshadow primer on. And what else did I put on? But I'd done the whole shebang. I'd done everything. And I woke up the next day and my eyes were sticky and red and irritated and just terrible. And I thought, oh my goodness, I'm allergic to caviar sticks, and I'm allergic to the primer, and I'm allergic to everything. And I was so unhappy. Well, the next day, I had an appointment with my ophthalmologist, who's the one that's a real doctor. Whoever it is, that's who I had an appointment with. So I had an appointment with, let's say, my ophthalmologist. And I said, I think I had a real allergic reaction to my makeup. And he said, no, it's because your eyes are dry. And that's why they're all sticky and irritated. How do you like that? I had no idea. I would have thought, if I hadn't had that appointment with him the next day, I would have thought that I was allergic to caviar sticks, to makeup, to everything. I mean, that was really interesting. So I was lucky to have that appointment. What did I do about that? Well, the doctor looked at my eyes, said, "Whoa, they're really, really dry. I think you need to have plugs put into your tear ducts." Plugs? Tear ducts? So I had an appointment for a week later, and believe it or not, it didn't hurt. I didn't even feel it. And what it does is that it keeps the moisture of your eye from going down your tear ducts, and it keeps it on your eyes. But what I've also been doing is I've been putting in drops constantly. I said, should I do it 3 times a day, 4 times a day? He said, you can do it once an hour. So I've got very dry eyes, and I need to, you know, amp up my game and put drops in my eyes constantly. While I was in the office, I had to wait. Let's see, what is it if I got there at 12:30 and I couldn't be seen till 2? What happened is the doctor had an emergency. Now, I could be really upset about that, or I could realize that sometimes stuff happens and there are emergencies. So while I was sitting in the doctor's office, I wasn't paying attention to the television set, but I started because, do you remember the movie Air with that couple and the balloons? Well, it was so good. I sat there and watched a movie. And if you get a chance during this time, it's a very sweet movie. And it's done by Pixar, and it's on Amazon Prime. In a way, it's kind of a little, it touches your heart, but it's very sweet. So I sat there and watched a movie and then had plugs put in my tear ducts. I know how to have a good time, right? I know how. A couple of other things. Do you remember the book I suggested you read? It's called The Maid by Nina Proust. Well, it's a wonderful book. If you haven't read it, it's time to read it. Really good book. It's about a maid who's a little, what can I say, a little challenged, but she's smarter than all of them. And it's a charming, delightful book. She's come out with a second book, and it's called The Mystery Guest by Nina Prose, Prose. I just downloaded it to my Kindle, so I haven't read it yet, but if they say that it's wonderful. The reviews are really wonderful. So that might be your next book. Speaking of books, I have not liked the books at book club, and I let them all know. I'm not liking the book we're reading this month either. And so I kind of let everybody have it when we don't read a really good book. You know what? Nobody's read this in book club. I'm going to suggest they read it in book club because this is a really good book. And we've been reading well, the last one was Wimpy. And I won't say the name of it, but it was Wimpy. And the one I'm reading now is a little bit above Wimpy. So we'll call it, let's say, a little above Wimpy, but it's terrible. I think so. Maybe I'm a harsh judge of books. Okay, so some of the other things. You know what I did see? I was really tired one night. My husband was tired of watching TV, and I wanted to see something light, something. My neck was hurting me, so I wanted to see something enjoyable. And I remembered Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris by Paul Gallico. They made it into a movie, and it is utterly delightful. You need a little pickup, you need a little relaxation. It's on Amazon Prime, and it's Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. And it's about a woman, and she's a cleaner. Isn't that interesting? I could have tied it all together and seemed really intelligent. Because the maid is a housekeeper, and so is the second book, the Mystery Guest, and this is the same thing, Mrs. Harris, and she's a housekeeper, and well, I don't know if I should tell you any more, but you kind of get the idea because she goes to Paris. Delightful, enjoyable, relaxing. You'll find yourself smiling, and it's just feel good movie. You know, the Queen Camilla, loves reading, and she's got the Queen's Reading Room where she recommends books. So you might go to the Queen's Reading Room and get some ideas for books also. Let's see, what else? Oh, and I'm going to show you a picture. I made Ina Garten's chicken Milanese. It is so good. I have to show you a picture of it. It's really good. And I did a beautiful job on it. It's my husband and my son's favorite thing for dinner. Why haven't I made it for my daughter? I'm going to make it for my daughter next. My daughter and grandkids. It's a really good, and it's really pretty. And, ooh, my mouth is watering. A couple of things. This lipstick, I don't know how it's showing up here, but in real life, it's a beautiful coral, a creamy, lovely coral. I've been wearing this every day. Now, let me tell you a little thing about me and lipsticks. I've got a lot of lines in my lips. You know, and I've had 2 cancer surgeries on my lips and a lot of lines. So I can't if I wear a balm, all you see is skin and lines, shiny skin and lines. It just doesn't look good. So I have to wear a lipstick that is, you know, thick pigment and rich pigment. And one of those is Tom Ford. I'm sorry, guys. Who else? Tom Ford, Lisa Eldridge, and who else? Christian Dior. So those are 3 lipsticks that I love. Oh, I did get one from BK Beauty that's gorgeous. That coral color that I love. Empower. I remember that. But take a look at your lips and see if you need to put what kind of lipstick works on you. And then you know what I've been doing is I've been putting a lip pencil all over my lips and then putting the lipstick over it. Instead of having, you know, a line to outline it, you know, when it wears off, you see that line. And so I don't like seeing that line. So if you put the lip pencil all over, then when the lipstick wears off, you've still got coverage on your lips. I think that's it. I think that's it. I think I've done it. By gosh, I've done it. Remember where that's from? Remember? Yes. Wait a second. Where's that from? I can't remember. Where's it from? My Fair Lady. I got it. Okay. Takes me a while. 83 takes me a while. Let's see. Anything more? I think that's about it. But I just wanted to catch up with you. I think I've told you all this stuff. Hope you enjoy this. I'm wishing you a very happy and healthy and fun and enjoyable New Year. Thank you for all of your support. I really appreciate it. Thank you.